Welcome back to Income Decoded, the channel where we break down real strategies for making real money online. No fluff, no fake gurus, just pure financial intelligence that you can actually use. Now, I want to start today with a question. When was the last time someone told you exactly what they earn, their actual number, not a vague "it is decent" or "I do all right," the actual number? For most people, the answer is never, or maybe once, from someone who had a few too many drinks at a party and forgot the rules. Because salary is the last great taboo, people will tell you about their relationship problems before they tell you their salary. They will tell you about their health before they tell you their salary. They will tell you about their divorce, their debt, their failures before they will say the number. And I have always found this fascinating, because that silence costs people real money, real measurable money that leaves their account every single month. So I decided to do something about it. I asked 100 people what they earn, and what I found completely changed how I think about money, success, and the stories we tell ourselves. This is what happened. Before I get into the findings, I want to talk about the experiment itself, because the responses before anyone gave me a number told me as much as the numbers did. When I asked people what they earned, the reactions fell into roughly 4 categories. About a third said yes immediately, completely comfortable. Some of them seemed almost relieved to finally say it out loud. About a third hesitated and then agreed. They wanted to know why I was asking. They wanted to know if it was for research. They needed a reason before they could say the number. About a quarter declined completely, some politely, some with genuine discomfort as if the question itself was inappropriate. And a small number lied, not dramatically, but they rounded up. They added bonuses that were not guaranteed. They included things that were not quite salary. You could tell the number felt performed rather than real. And that reaction pattern itself told me something important before a single salary was shared. We have been taught that our salary is private, that sharing it is somehow dangerous, that it is impolite, almost shameful, and that teaching has consequences, big ones as you are about to see. Finding number 1, the same job title means almost nothing. This was the first thing that hit me, and it hit hard. I spoke to 2 software engineers, same city, both mid-level, both had roughly the same years of experience. One was earning $40,000 a year, the other was earning $180,000 a year. Same job title, same experience level, same city, 4.5 times different in salary. I spoke to 2 teachers, both secondary school. Both had been teaching for around 8 years. One was earning $22,000 a year, the other was earning $68,000. I spoke to 2 marketing managers. One was on $35,000, the other was on $95,000. Now some of this difference is explainable. Private versus public sector, company size, industry, specific skills within the same title, these are real factors. But here is what struck me. When I asked each person whether they knew what others in their role were earning, the answer was almost always no. They had no idea. They had accepted what they were offered. They had no reference point. They assumed that what they were earning was roughly what the role was worth. And for many of them, that assumption was costing them tens of thousands of dollars a year. The job title tells you almost nothing about the actual market for that role. 2 people with the same title can be living in completely different financial realities, and most people have no idea which side of that gap they are sitting on. Finding number 2, high income does not mean financial security. This is the one that stopped everyone I told it to. I spoke to someone earning $180,000 a year, which feels like a number where financial problems should not exist, and yet this person had $4,000 in savings. They had $60,000 in lifestyle debt, credit cards, personal loans, a car loan. They had no investment account, no emergency fund to speak of. Every month the money came in and every month it went out. When I asked them why, the answer was familiar: lifestyle inflation. Every raise had been immediately converted into a more expensive version of life. Better apartment, better car, better holidays, better restaurants. The income grew and the spending grew with it in perfect lockstep. The number in the paycheck changed. The financial position barely moved. Now I spoke to someone earning $38,000 a year, and this person had $22,000 saved. They were investing every single month, small amounts but consistent. They had a system, 3 buckets: needs, wants, future self. Every month before anything else, the future self bucket got filled. The rest was available to spend. The person on 38,000 was in a meaningfully stronger financial position than the person on 180,000, not despite the income gap, completely independently of it. Income is not wealth, income is the fuel, the system is the engine, and without the engine the fuel just burns. We covered exactly how to build that system in episode 3 of this channel. If you have not watched that one yet, the link is in the description, because this finding right here is the proof that it works. A system on 38,000 beats no system on 180,000 every single time. Finding number 3, almost nobody knew their market rate. This one made me genuinely frustrated, not at the people, at the situation. I asked every person I spoke to the same follow-up question. Have you ever researched what your specific role pays in the current market? What is the going rate for someone with your exact experience in your exact location doing your exact job? The majority said no, they had never looked. They had accepted what they were offered at the time they were hired, and they had not thought critically about whether that number was fair relative to the market since. Some of them had been in the same role at the same company for years. They had received annual raises of 2 or 3%, which felt like progress, which felt like recognition. But when I looked at what the market was paying for their role, the gap was significant. Research consistently shows that people who stay in the same job for multiple years are paid significantly less than people who move to a new role because new hires negotiate. They have competing offers, they have market data, they have leverage, and the company needs to fill the position. But the loyal employee who has been there for 7 years and received steady incremental raises is very often being paid 15 to 40% below what that same employer would pay to hire someone new into the same role today. Let me say that again. If your company needed to hire someone to do your job today, they would very likely pay them more than they are paying you, not because you are less valuable, because you never asked, because you had no reference point, because the silence around salary meant you did not know the number you should be asking for. Finding number 4, the taboo benefits employers and costs employees. This is the finding that ties everything together, and once you understand it, you will never think about salary secrecy the same way again. The reason that salary is taboo is not random. It did not emerge naturally from human psychology. It was cultivated. It serves a very specific purpose, and that purpose is not yours. When employees do not discuss their salaries with each other, several things happen. People cannot identify whether they are being paid fairly relative to their colleagues. They cannot build a case for a raise based on what others are being paid. They cannot negotiate effectively because they have no reference point. They take what they are offered because they do not know what else to ask for. When employers keep salary information hidden, several different things happen. They can pay different people different amounts for the same work without accountability. They can make offers below market rate to candidates who do not know better. They can give smaller raises to employees who do not know they could get more. And they can maintain that situation indefinitely because nobody is comparing notes. Research shows this clearly. Pay transparency consistently reduces unjustified pay gaps. When salaries become visible, the gaps narrow. Not because companies suddenly become more generous, because employees gain the information they need to negotiate effectively. This is why in many countries salary transparency laws are now being introduced, because governments recognize that information asymmetry in salary negotiation is not a neutral thing. It systematically benefits the party that holds the information, and in a salary negotiation that party is almost always the employer. The taboo is not protecting you, it is protecting the people who pay you. Finding number 5, the happiest people were not the highest earners. I saved this one for last because it is the one that surprised me the most. I asked every person a simple question alongside their salary number. On a scale of 1 to 10, how financially satisfied are you right now? I expected the scores to roughly track the income. More money, more satisfaction. That seemed logical. It did not work that way. Above a certain income threshold, the correlation between earnings and financial satisfaction almost completely broke down. People earning twice as much were not twice as satisfied. People earning 3 times as much were often less satisfied than people earning a third of their income. What actually correlated with financial satisfaction had nothing to do with the number in the paycheck. It was whether they had a system, people who knew where their money was going every month, who had a savings target they were hitting, who were investing even small amounts regularly, who felt in control of their financial life. These people reported high satisfaction regardless of income level. And the people with low satisfaction, the ones who said 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10, these were often people with significant incomes and no system, more money coming in than most of the satisfied people, and yet a constant low-level financial anxiety, because the money was moving but they were not directing it anywhere. Financial satisfaction is not a product of income, it is a product of clarity and control come from a system, not from a salary. Now here are the 3 things that everyone who heard these 5 findings should do immediately. Step 1. Research your market rate this week, not someday, this week. Use salary comparison platforms, look at job postings for your role, talk to recruiters even if you are not looking. Find out what someone with your experience doing your job in your location is being paid in the current market. If there is a gap between that number and your current salary, you have information you did not have before, and information is leverage. Step 2. Build your system regardless of your income. The finding that shocked everyone most is the one that frees everyone most. You do not need to earn more to build wealth. You need a system, 3 buckets, needs, wants, and future self. Automated before you spend. Consistent before you optimize. We covered the exact system in episode 3. Use it. The evidence from 100 real salaries says it works better than a bigger paycheck without it. Step 3. Have the salary conversation, not necessarily with your employer yet. Start with people you trust. Friends, colleagues, people in your industry. Break the taboo in small ways, because every time you share your number and someone else shares theirs, you both gain information. And information is the one thing that salary secrecy was designed to take away from you. Now here is what I want from you. Drop a comment below with your job title and your salary, anonymously if you want. You do not need to use your real name, just the title and the number. Let us build the data together. Every number you share is information that helps someone else know their worth. Because the most important thing I learned from asking 100 people what they earn is this: the silence serves the system, not you. The moment people start talking, the whole thing changes. If this video gave you even one moment of clarity, please hit the like button right now. It takes 2 seconds and it genuinely helps this video reach more people who need to hear this. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that red subscribe button and turn on the bell. Every single week on Income Decoded, I drop new videos breaking down real money strategies and real financial intelligence with real numbers. There is a free Know Your Worth salary research guide linked in the description below. It gives you the exact platforms and the exact questions to research your market rate in under 30 minutes. Download it right now, completely free, no catch. I will see you in the next video. Stay focused, stay consistent, and remember, the silence was never protecting you.